the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, the Deputy Chief Justice, all the Chief Justices in attendance, distinguished guests, please allow me to adopt the protocol that has been set out by the Chief of Staff. My brief this morning is, as the name goes, the word goes, it's brief, but a pleasurable one. It is to give a vote of thanks. Honorable Chief Justice, since of all the tasks you have given me to execute, since I became the director of the Kenya Judiciary Academy, this one has been the most challenging for obvious reasons. I remember sometime last year, after we hosted a symposium at which 12 Chief Justices from the continent were in attendance. We hosted that symposium successfully. Thereafter, for 1 week, I spent boasting to whoever I would meet, especially my fellow judges and magistrates from the judiciary. I told them to respect me because I had just been a host of 12 Chief Justices from the African continent. I even reminded those with whom I share a living in the house to also extend that respect. But Deputy President, little did I know that in store lay a major challenging task of hosting the annual symposium consisting of not less than 26 Chief Justices from the continent, including distinguished jurists from Africa and beyond, keynote speakers, experts, professors of law, deans of schools of law, and all judges of the Kenyan judiciary. This was a monumental task, and I was tasked to see it through in a period of 2 months. And I can assure you, it was not a walk in the park, but fortunately for me, I was ably assisted by a committed team. Let me just mention a few because of the strictures of time, Chief Justice. I was ably assisted by my colleague at the Supreme Court of Kenya, Mr. Justice William Ouko, who was the co-chair. Please, if you could just... I was also assisted by the Honorable Justice Oscar Angote, the presiding judge of the Environment and Land Court. Deputy President, you may not know, but we have coined a new term of, we have the chair, we have the co-chair, but because of the monumental task ahead of me, I also created the post of emergency chair. The emergency chair was none other than the Justice Oscar Angote of that court. Those three, I and those two, were in charge of a very hardworking secretariat, a very hardworking steering committee, which was put together by you, the Honorable Chief Justice. Members of that steering committee were about 30. I would have mentioned each of them by name, but because of time, let us just, I request that we give them a round of applause. The steering committee and the secretariat was headed by 2 able ladies in conformity with the emerging Kenyan standards. One was the Honorable Lillian Arika, who is the registrar of the Kenya Judiciary Academy, wherever she is. The other one was none other than the Chief of Staff of the Honorable the Chief Justice, Rose Washuka. Behind the steering committee was a fantastic protocol team. And I think our guests can attest to how determined that protocol team was. Wherever you are, protocol team, we applaud you. Please let us give them a round of applause. In support of the protocol team and the steering committee and the entire planning process was our security team, led by none other than the head of the Judiciary Police Unit, the Assistant Inspector General, Mr. Opicho. Let us a round of applause. He had cautioned me not to mention his name, but really the work he has done is such that we must mention his name. Then I should not forget, of course, to thank you, the Chief Justice, for the support you gave me and my team. I could call you at any time, of course, excluding the holy times. I could call you at any time, and you were at hand to give me the support. Whenever there was a glitch, you were always there to make sure that my way is smoothened, and therefore, let us please give a round of applause to the Chief Justice. The Office of the Chief Registrar, I also thank you, because you made sure when we came calling that you provided the finances that were required to hold this event, of course supported by our development partners. Let us please thank the Honorable Chief Registrar. The media, we cannot forget, you have covered this process from its formative stages, and I noticed that you have been keeping the Kenyan public informed of what has been going on, so we also thank the media. Let me also, without forgetting, extend, and from the bottom of my heart, my profound thanks to all of you, the Chief Justices, the distinguished guests, all of you that we invited to attend, to come to this symposium, and you hearkened to our call. Deputy President, you know that if you are a bad human being, and people know that you are a bad human being, should you give a banquet at which you provide all sorts of niceties, food, drinks, and everything, you might end up eating that alone. And since you can't eat it alone, you will die, because nobody has come, and nobody will even come to bury you. But luckily for us, Kenya is not a bad person, and I can assure you that all those guests that to whom we extended our invitation actually not only affirmed, but actually attended, and they are here. So thank you very much. The Agenel board, what a wonderful board to work with and to work for. The chair and your team, you came over from time to time whenever the Chief Justice extended an invitation, so as that you give us direction. Even when you are away, you logged into our meetings and gave us the much needed direction. So let us please recognize the chair of Agenel and Agenel members. And let me also thank our rapporteurs, who most of them having been drawn from the Supreme Court of Kenya, for the great work that you've done, making sure that you document whatever it is that has been going on. And finally, I think we should thank the development partners for the support. You have already been recognized. I think I should thank this hotel for providing us with all the facilities we needed, for providing us with good food, and also internal security. Remember, His Excellency the President had cautioned us that in Nairobi, elephants and cheetahs could come greeting if you are not careful. They made sure that those greetings were not welcome, and therefore we thank the hotel. The Deputy President, the Honorable the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, and distinguished guests, and my colleague from the judiciary, I thank you and I thank you.
Thank you, my Lord Judge, for that extensive